Alright, so Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. The movie that marks the end of the DCEU. Now, I'd be very curious to see what people actually rate this DCEU project on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to sit right there, maybe in the middle, at a 5. There was some really good films in the DCEU, don't get me wrong. Wonder Woman was great, the first one. The second one was shite. The first Aquaman, I actually really enjoyed. This one, I'll get into that. Batman vs Superman was good. Man of Steel is iconic. Both Shazam movies were fun to me, but there was some big missed opportunities when it comes to the DCEU. I mean, you dropped the ball on so many things. The number one being Henry Cavill is the perfect casting for Superman, and we saw that on the big screen, but they fucked it. They literally treated him like shite. He's not even going to be in the next upcoming lot of DC, whatever the fuck it's going to be called. The first release of Justice League was not great, and then of course the Snyder Cut saved it. Suicide Squad was alright, then they remade it, that was alright. Green Lantern not being in this whole universe is an absolute crime to me. I do not understand why they didn't do that. And Ben Affleck not having his own Batman film. There's just so much missed potential, but it's all over now. It was basically all for fucking nothing because it wasn't really a success, let's be honest. So, when it comes to Aquaman, I actually enjoyed the first one. The first Aquaman was like a really good break from the run of super dark DC films we've been getting. Before that, all the films were all about fucking doomsday. They're all super dark. And then Aquaman came along. It wasn't the funniest of movies, but I remember there being some little cheap one-liners in there. But it was super bright, and it was just wasn't an end-of-the-world sort of movie. So that was super refreshing. This one here, I knew it was sort of doomed from the get-go. The DCU is pretty much dead and buried, and they just released this as the last hurrah, I guess. There was some really weird situations around this movie with, you know, Amber Heard being in it. She is in it a lot more than I thought she would have been. I think she has about 20 minutes of screen time in total, but you can really tell that they've cut her out at certain moments, but they haven't cut her out at the big moments. Like, she's a vital character in this film at times. She makes the big saves, and she's there for the really emotional moments. So I'm surprised they actually kept her in it as much as they did, but I could definitely tell that they've cut her out of quite a lot. Jason Momoa's been saying that he doesn't know if he's going to be playing Aquaman for much longer. And you can really tell in this film, there's times where, to me, he's sort of just zoned out with the actual Aquaman character. I don't know if that's the way he's been directed by James Wan, but it's super weird because if you've seen Fast 10, his character in that, super fucking flamboyant and just yahoo fucking all the time, he's that in this film. It's like James Wan was like, just have as much fun with it as you can. Be the same guy in Fast 10. There is definitely times where you see, you know, Aquaman, the fucking guy that fucking kicks ass underwater. He's the leader of the fish people. He's super serious, but you only get like 5-10 minutes of that. But to be honest, I really didn't have a problem with it. Jason Momoa can make any character super charismatic and super likable, and he was in this film. I think Tyrone Magnus sums Momoa's character up in this the best.
At the end, there's a point where Aquaman gives a speech. And I'm no joke. I was getting into the speech and I was like, okay, all right. And then, dumb shit again.
So where this film really suffers is it doesn't know what to be. So we were all advertised the brother versus brother camaraderie, I guess, from the trailer. Aquaman enlists the help of his brother, the Ocean Master, after he put him in jail for life, basically. And it was going to be like this buddy cop movie. And it was that for like 10 minutes. And the movie was at its best when those two were together. The comedic timing of those two was absolutely great. And Patrick Wilson, I think I've said this before in the Insidious review, he is such an underrated actor. Like, he just gets it. This whole buddy cop thing, he was perfect. His comedic timing was great. And his actual performance as Ocean Master was great. You can really see his character build. You can really see it change from the way he was before. And there was some really funny stuff with those two. One of them involving a burger and a beetle. If you don't want spoilers, click away. But basically, because Ocean Master hasn't been to the actual real world before, the land or whatever, he doesn't know what certain food is, and it all sounds gross to him. So Aquaman's like, this is something we eat all the time, and it's a cockroach. And he thinks it tastes good. And then at the end of the movie, the post-credit scene is him eating a hamburger, because Aquaman keeps saying that a burger is the best. And he sees like a cockroach crawling, and he puts it in the burger and eats it. Shit like that. The movie was super goofy in that way. But there just wasn't enough of that. They'd switch between that and this super serious, I think his name's Manta, the main villain. We've seen it before. It was just super generic. And the actual CGI, look, a lot of it was really bad. Like, I was like, fuck, that looks so cartoonish. And I know the movie's supposed to be underwater. Okay, look, the first one looked better. The first one looked way better visually. This one here, it's just too CGI-ish. Everything was CGI. Every background, every setting, every scene of dialogue. I reckon the fucking lounge in his fucking house was CGI. Everything was CGI. So look, it's the end of the DCEU. It's the last installment. I reckon they've just put this movie out there and said, we've made it, let's just release it. I don't know what James Wan was thinking, but I just feel like he didn't have a clear direction in mind when it came to this film. Maybe cutting Amber Heard out of a lot of it messed up the tone of the film, because you can definitely tell she's cut out of some vital moments, even though she's in some vital moments. But yeah, this film just didn't know what it wanted to be. Aquaman's character was just all over the place, and there wasn't enough of the two of them. Patrick Wilson as Ocean Master, Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Those two together was just amazing, but we didn't get enough of it. This movie was okay. I'm gonna forget about it very quickly. I've seen it. Will I buy it? Possibly. More than likely, just to own it. So I'm going to give this film a 5 out of 10. So definitely not a low score like a lot of other people are giving it. I think the highest score I've seen is like a 3 out of 10. But I don't think it was that bad. It doesn't deserve that much hate. But it's not a good movie. It's very average. So that's my review. If you've seen the film, let me know what you think. And thanks always for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.